Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Film
A
Freaks.
show for film fun and all things entertainment.
I'm the long lost host, Jesse.
And I am the guy you guys always see, Mr. Flores. And today we went to go see a film that we both were very excited for.
Yes.
Sicario Dia de Soldado, and we just got back, so let's get right into this interview. I mean, not the interview, because we really didn't talk to anybody, to the review. Okay, Sicario 2, Dia de Soldado. How did it measure up? What'd you think? Pat, pat.
Wow. Well, as in terms of entertaining, it exceeded.
Yeah.
Like it definitely kept me engaged. The pace again was very similar to the original, the first
Fantastic.
film. Of
That little
slow, but enough slow where
and
it's
the
still
music
engaged.
in the background is kind of like, it's like a slow step,
Right.
where you don't feel like this movie's going too slow, like it needs to pick up. Like you don't feel that. It just kind of, it's like you know, like in the Olympics where they have the rowers and they have that drum going. Like that's how it is.
I don't, but whatever he says.
Yeah.
But yes, so I think the film overall was pretty good. Although my expectations because of the first film was pretty darn high, didn't quite make it up there.
I agree.
I would say maybe 2-3 notches
Down. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. I agree. So let's get into the before we get into the bad, let's get into some of the good things, which I love Josh Brolin and Guillermo Benicio in these roles. I like how cutthroat, rough, and rugged they are.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like these roles or these characters that they're playing. So I think it was fantastic. And just to touch on Josh Brolin, I've seen this guy in 3 very different movies in like the last month. He was Cable, then he was Thanos, and now he's this special ops guy. So he's kind of all over the place. Josh Brolin's kind of very, very...
I just saw Thanos in Mexico, bro. That's why I
He's
saw
very hot
Thanos
right now.
in
This
Mexico.
guy, Josh Brolin's everywhere. So
I had no
kudos to this
idea
guy.
this movie was called Sicario. I thought it was called Thanos in Mexico.
Thanos Dia de Soldado. That's what it was.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely it speaks volumes of his
Range.
of his range. Definitely, absolutely. I do love the characters again. Although I will say that the one thing that disappointed me, and I think, we were discussing this earlier, was that these characters that we saw in the first one were more like catalysts.
Yeah.
They drove the story enough to kind of give you that gray area. You don't know if they're good, you don't know if they're bad.
Right.
They're made, is it, what's her name?
Emily Blunt.
Yes,
Emily Blunt, yeah.
Emily Blunt. She was crossing those lines.
Yeah.
She wasn't sure if she was
Exactly.
dirty at this point, or
Yeah.
maybe she's doing there was so much involved in that film where now you put these 2 awesome characters and you make them the forefront of the film.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I don't know, like it was just like almost like another action film.
Right.
Another action set of characters just thrown into a situation, and we're hoping that they get out alive.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
Yeah, no, I agree, because as we were saying, the character of Emily Blunt in the first movie, with her very questionable about, she knows she's serving her country, but the methods that they're taking, she was so torn on it, but because she was so loyal to the cause, she was going ahead and doing it. And this one, you don't have that kind of turmoil.
Right.
They did, but it was like this Mexican kid, and it just didn't service the plot at all for me, because he's like, I want to be part of this cartel, but I don't want to do it. Like there's things that I want to do, but then I do it and I feel remorse and I don't know what's going on.
The Miguel
yeah,
character.
so it was just kind of weird seeing the Emily Blunt character in this kid, because it just didn't fit like the way that did. And I don't think you could replicate the character of Emily Blunt in this movie and then it not feel like you just did the movie all over again. So that's kind of like, I don't know how they could have...
They could have done the same thing again in terms of like putting them in a situation where it's like maybe reverse it where this
Right.
person decides like, hey, you know what, I like your methods now.
Yeah.
Let's be more destructive, and now
Right.
they have to tame back and be like,
Mhm.
you know, like, hey man, we're still the good guys. You need to
Exactly.
tame it down. You know, they could have flipped the role
Right.
and put them in the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of kids, especially if they're not very well, you know, good
Yeah.
in acting. I don't like them to be in the forefront, as you know, whether they're a catalyst or not. But
Yeah.
you know, there's very few exceptions. And again, like you were saying, it didn't. I did
Yeah.
not feel. I did not connect. It
Yeah.
felt out of place,
Sure did.
especially because the first like 20 minutes of the film, they were like, "Let's unleash the beast. Let's
Yeah.
let's
We're
like
letting
you
you
know,
loose.
We're letting you loose. We're cutting loose.
And you really
How
see none
loose?
of that.
Blah blah blah. And this and that. And then it's like,
You know what? Now that I think about that, if they would have used Benicio's character more in that sense where he felt torn, because now that I think about it, maybe that's what they were going for with this is the child of the man who was behind the massacre of my family, but you never get that sense of like, he was like, I can't do it. I gotta get you to the border. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the tone of his character, so him acting that way isn't out of place, but that whole release the beast, and there
Right.
was really no conflict of like, I
Right.
should kill this girl and kill the rest of this guy's
Right.
family. Like, maybe if they would play on that.
Especially because in the first film, I mean, he was so
Oh,
cold-blooded.
he was
that was
cutthroat, yeah.
bro, like
He
literally
wanted to murder all of them.
right. He literally killed the family.
Yeah.
Like, and that was as crazy and bogus as it sounds. That was actually one of my favorite scenes in the film where he
Yeah.
kills the entire family and then kills the guy.
Exactly.
Because like, first of all, you don't really see that, so it was
Yeah.
more of a shock. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this guy is cutthroat.
Yeah.
This guy is ruthless, and like, you know, that really messed me up. And you know, and that was very impactful. Here, it's kind of like both characters, both Brolin's Alejandro and I can't forget his
yeah.
name, but Brolin's character, they break away from their roles, meaning that you know the Toto is more of his character is more like a beast,
Yeah.
unleashed, murderous,
Machine.
but now he's tamed back. And then Brolin's character, he's more of the rugged,
Yeah,
you
trying
know,
to push
rogue,
this, do this,
pushing the
yeah.
limit, and then he at the end. Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
At
change of mind.
right, and he follows orders, and he kind of breaks ties with. So, like, to some degree, there is some growth and separation of the characters, but again, it wasn't impactful. There wasn't high risk.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something like, oh my god, like
Right.
when you first saw.
Yeah, because
Sicario.
the beginning of the movie, they set up this whole thing with the Mexicans are smuggling this Middle Eastern people, and they're blowing up buildings. So they kind of use that to jump into the story. But like halfway through the movie, they're like, oh no, they didn't go through there. They've been U.S. citizens. So it was such a wash at that point that I'm like, it was too early for me to reveal that.
Right.
Maybe that would have added to like some weight and tension to the film if they would have waited a little more.
Or
to
like
see
when
that.
they came back and maybe like one of the characters, like again, massive spoiler, right? The Toto's character actually dies, and
Yeah.
then they come back with this girl, and then it turns out
Exactly.
like it was literally a waste of time
Yeah.
because there were domestic terrorists.
Exactly. So
And then
yeah.
it would have been like, really government, like you guys screwed up and you killed my asset. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the tension, and maybe in the third film would have been Brolin maybe kind of questioning his loyalty to the to
Exactly.
the U.S. I don't know,
Yeah.
like there wasn't that.
Exactly. It was just, oh, we got them guys wrong, and now we have to kind of clean up this whole mafia cartel war that we were trying to set up. Like, let's just wipe it all clean and forget this ever happened. So,
And then
yeah,
there's no purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt empty, and then you get to the end where it didn't make sense for Alejandro to go after Miguel. Like, it really didn't.
Unless to kill him.
Exactly.
Right. That would have made perfect sense. Like for me, if we're going about character development and we're going based on what they showed in the story, at the beginning you see this girl, Isabella. She's beating the crap out of some kid. She's very big fighter. Strong character, and then she's put in a situation, and yes, like a young girl, she gets shocked with all the violence and the death and the blood and all this.
Like, just pile on to making her numb,
very numb. So to me, to some degree, talking about the daughter of Alejandro and
why he knew sign
right,
language
and all this stuff that was created
between them two, right?
Right, and him not wanting to kill her to the point that he kind of like cut ties with like almost his best friend, and to me, it would have made more sense if he found her a year later and be like, hey, let's make you into a Sicario.
Yeah, let's talk about your future, instead of this kid who Miguel is very just confused about everything. He kills Benicio, and then he feels so torn about it, where like these guys are all celebrating, and then he just kind of like, I need space, I don't know what just happened. And yeah, so it just didn't fit that this is the kid that he would train to be an assassin, where you're like Jay's saying, this girl shows potential, and this kid is like the opposite. Like, I don't even know if I want to be doing this.
Honestly, like, I mean, even though the story kind of was propelling Isabella to be the next, or like the next hitman, it would have still felt a little more like of a shock if he would have went after. Why? Because like, this is the daughter of the person that literally signed the death wish of his family. Now he's trained this one person to like become an assassin, and you could kind of see when he tells her that the reason why his family was murdered because of the father, and she's starting to realize like everything she has, and like you can see the shift in her mind, like, wow, my father's a monster.
Exactly.
All these people are dying, and she's a fighter to begin with. It just, I don't know, like everything was leading to that, and then all of a sudden it was like,
what?
Let's scratch that. Let's go with this kid.
Exactly.
Like, what? No.
Yeah. So I mean, we're pointing out some very obvious things that we noticed throughout the film. Overall, I still enjoyed it.
Right.
You know,
despite all that.
Despite all that. Yeah, I still very much enjoyed it, but the plot of the film definitely is its weakest point. So let's get right into the ratings. With the visuals of it, I enjoyed it as well. The headshots, the fighting, the blood, everything about it, I think it was great. It's all very believable. You know, that this is like a special ops team that, you know, doing dirty things. I loved it, so I'm going to give it a 4 on that.
Same here. I mean, I give it a 4 for all the same reasons. The shots were great.
Yeah, it was.
Especially,
I love the over.
Dude,
that
I was
that
just gonna say that.
Plane. I love that they use that and a lot, and it just works so good.
Right.
So that to me is, every time they would show that overhead view, I'm like, man, it looks so awesome.
Right.
So it was really cool. Performances, man, I can't.
Stellar.
Yeah, man, you have
Stellar.
Brolin, Benicio, these two guys, monster actors who are just fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and give it another 4.
That one I can't. Well, I might go
Torn a little bit.
I might give it a 5. I don't know. It's Brolin and Del Toro. I mean,
they're fantastic.
They did great, and even the girl with her being shocked, minus Miguel's character. I wasn't really impressed with his role. It was just literally this the whole time, looking down,
sad puppying all the time.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 5 because of Brolin and Del Toro.
Fantastic. And then the plot, which to me kind of really took a big hit. I was really wanting to give it a 3, but it just wasn't good. Like, I couldn't just look at it and say, that was good. I have to give it a 2. I have to knock it down and say it was okay.
I give it a 2 too.
As well. So
2,
I'm
2.
giving it 4, 4, and 2. So that gives me a 10, and you gave 4, 5.
11.
So you had an 11. Yeah, overall still a good film. You know, I enjoyed it, minus those big plot things that we had issues with, but I still walked out of the theater thinking I really enjoyed it.
And it was very, very tense. Like,
it was.
And honestly, like, if all else, you go see that movie, and it just goes to show how powerful sound and music goes along with the film. Like, when it's done right, despite the plot and like the inconsistencies or stuff that you didn't like, it drew you in.
Absolutely.
It really did.
Couldn't agree more.
Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, those are our thoughts about this awesome movie, Sicario. I mean, we're probably going to get a part 3. Don't know what that's going to look like, but let us know what you guys think. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Alright, guys, thanks for watching our episode.
Yeah, if you liked our video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up.
And if you didn't, you can double click on the thumbs down. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and like.
Right on. And check us out on our other social media outlets at Instagram and Twitter. And please tweet us at FF Media News.
Or you can engage with us through our email at ffmedianews@gmail.com.
All right. Thanks, guys.